This video is going to be on customers for the on-premise enterprise for ThunderPOS for Windows solution. If you are not using on-premise enterprise, this won't apply to you. So if you have only one store, or if you are using our cloud solution, either way, this video wouldn't necessarily apply to you unless you are curious about this particular solution. But if you are using it, this is where you would go for more info on how to do customers, to do customer accounts, and then we may also briefly touch on using gift cards, which is kind of similar. So if you take a look here, we are in the corporate menu here. So for customers, it's a little bit different than items. If you've watched our items video, you may know that you can optionally choose whether or not items can be updated at a local level. Customers can always be updated at the local level, assuming that the employee has permission to do so. So if we go to options here, you'll notice we do have manage customers here. If you turn that off, then you probably don't need to watch this video because the customers will just be at each store. They won't be shared between stores. So most customers are going to want to use that and leave that on. But the other option that's relevant here is send new customers. This determines whether customers will automatically show up within the searches at each store, or if you have to pull them from Enterprise manually. You can turn that on or off depending on how much your customers move between stores. If only a few customers move between stores and you don't want the ones for other stores to show up by default to make searching easier by name and all, then it can be reasonable to leave that off. We'll go through how to add them at the store level if that is what you go with, but we're going to leave this on for the purpose of this tutorial. So you can add customers either through ThunderPOS, assuming that you have permission, or through the corporate level. If we go into customers here, you can do searches here. You can view a customer's transactions, all of that. We're going to create a new customer here. This is very similar to within ThunderPOS. There are a few fields that are required and then a whole lot of optional fields. We're not going to go over it in agonizing detail here because you can, for the purpose of what those fields are, take a look at our ThunderPOS tutorials. But the customer ID is required, the first and last name are required, and then we're going to talk about a few specific other fields. Otherwise, they're fairly self-explanatory. Customer ID will need to be unique for a customer across all of your stores. So, you can't, even if they're only going to different stores, you can't have the same ID. It's going to think it's the same customer. So we'll add a customer number 5000 here, and we'll just add me in, Jeremy Spencer. And then we're going to leave the rest of this blank. These are all optional fields, the contact info, notes on the customer, ship to. Something worth mentioning, you can have notes pop up on the register level. So if you've got a customer who is a problem who you don't want to be served, then you could, let your cashiers know that using that field. Or if there's just something that they need to know about a customer. But much more relevant here is the account active checkbox, which we're going to be discussing at length because it's one of the primary uses for the enterprise level customers. So account active will indicate that the customer can use the on account payment type and they can carry a balance. It is worth mentioning that in ThunderPOS and in enterprise both, that a balance was originally designed to allow a customer to have purchase things on credit and then make payments to the store. And for that reason, a positive balance does not indicate that they are owed money by the store. It indicates that they owe the store money. A negative balance is often used to carry like a trade credit forward and indicates that the customer is owed money by the store. And many of our stores only allow customers to have a negative balance. There are still some that do extend credit out to customers to a point, and you can set a credit limit above 0 if you wish to do that. But by default, the credit limit is 0, and it will not allow a customer to actually go positive under normal circumstances. Um, you can also mark that a customer is tax exempt. You should not do this unless you know that you are supposed to do this and you've got the relevant documentation for your local government authorities. But that will enforce it on all stores. Um, you can also mark that the customer is a rewards member, in which case they will gain rewards points, which can be redeemed at any store. You will have to set an expiration date. We will do that. We're going to actually mark that they are a rewards member and we will give them a year here. Once they expire, any rewards balance they have will remain there just in case you want to do something with it down the road, but they will not be able to redeem points nor will they accrue new points. Um, Customer active indicates just that the customer record is active. That's separate from account active. If the customer is not active, then typically that means they are not currently a customer at all, much let alone with the balance. So the balance is separate from that. And then custom discount levels are a discounting feature where you can set that a customer gets things based off the cost or based off of the retail price. And you can set up these custom discount levels. They will override like used condition pricing and everything. They're pretty specific to like wholesalers, clubs, and that kind of thing. But if you're needing to do that, then that is available here, and you can manage the. So I'm just going to save this customer. You can manage your discount levels through the settings screen here to create, based off of price, cost, retail price, and then discount it or from there. So um, that is not something that most customers are going to necessarily use, but if you are interested in using it, then you kind of will know that that is something you want to do, and it is there for you. So we've added this customer here. So if we go in and we do our sync here, which normally you would set this to sync every 5 minutes. For the purposes of this video, I have it set to just do it manually. So we will then go into Thunder. So we are at effectively a store level now, and log in, and we'll take a look at the customer. So you can see that I have shown up here, and you can see that, I've got my balance, I've got my rewards membership, I can do the thing. So if we do a transaction with me now, and we do, look me up, and I type in the correct ID, and we do a trade in. We'll just say I trade one of these items we set up earlier in here. I probably don't have a price. I don't think I set a use price, so we'll just have to give myself credit here. And we actually do credit the account here. If we then go back to corporate and we go into customers and we hit view transactions on this customer, we can see that we have a negative $10 balance because the store owes this customer $10. You can also make an adjustment from the screen just by hitting the Make Adjustment button. Adjustments do have to be done through Corp Client. You can't make those through the store level. Although if a customer actually does owe you money, they can make payments at a store level, just not adjustments. You can also adjust the rewards points balance of a customer. Because that was a trade-in, I don't currently have any points. Points are not accumulated for a trade-in either way. But if I had purchased something, I would have points, or if I had done a return, I would have negative points there. So you can similarly adjust points. You'll also notice you can change the customer ID here. And if you do that, it will send it out to all of the stores just by hitting change customer ID there. So if we do that and we change it to 5001, and then we sync up, and then we go back into ThunderPOS and then customers, you can see that I am now customer number 5001. So those are kind of the major things with customers. if you are not sending new customers, when you hit add here, if you type in the number of the customer at enterprise, then that will bring them into your system locally. Or alternatively, if you go more and then enterprise search, you can find them through this screen and import them. Um, I won't be able to import them because they already exist in my database, but if they did not, I would be able to. So that is kind of the basics of customers. And then very quickly, we are going to touch on gift cards here. They are much more simplistic, but you can issue a gift card at the register just by selling gift card, typing in the ID or scanning it if you have a barcode. We'll sell this one for $8. And then once that's done, assuming that you are managing gift cards, which is another option, it will be available at any store in your chain, or you can see it through Corp Client here. You can similarly view the transactions, you can make adjustments and everything. Very straightforward, works pretty much identically and seamlessly to how it works within Thunder POS normally. Just when you are redeeming it, if you're typing in by hand instead of scanning at the redemption screen, you just have to make sure you hit enter to get it to do the lookup and fill in the amount here. But pretty straightforward in terms of that. So now if we do that and we go to register actions and gift card balance check, you can see that we now have $3 because we had 8 and we redeemed 5. If we do an adjustment through corporate here, so if we look back at this gift card, you can see we got $3 on here. If we make an adjustment and we give it $10 extra, and we do that balance check at the store level, we should see a $13 balance, and we do. And that's not even necessary to do this wait on the sync. It will show up, for balances and account balances, those show up right away. But if you have any questions on either customers or on gift cards through ThunderPOS Enterprise, please let us know. Otherwise, thank you for watching.